Hi, I'm Briana with Vacation of the Mind. Thanks for tuning in to our YouTube channel. For years, I have asked the question, what makes some people more capable of staying calm in stressful situations than others? You know the type. When shit hits the fan, they're collected, they're relaxed, and unshaken, while others are frantic, anxious, and totally rattled. I began searching for the answer, and what I found is it is a person's perspective. Perspective is a mental view, a point of view about a specific situation. It is a particular attitude toward something. Now, we all hear the word perspective, and we know each of us have one. But have you ever stopped to think, how is your perspective showing up in your life? Here's a couple of common perspectives that you might be able to relate to. It is what it is. Or how about, even when things don't work out, they always work out. Those are two perspectives that people tend to have in a lot of different situations. What's your perspective, and how's it showing up in your life? I really had to start thinking about what my perspective was and what it means when I woke up in the car one day in a fit of road rage. Now, I don't mean I literally woke up like I was sleeping, but I just didn't know who this person was that was yelling at a car next to me. This really got me thinking about what is my perspective and why do I have this thing called road rage? Yes, I'm one of those chronic sufferers, and I've had to do a lot of work around that. For example, I'm driving on the interstate one day, and this car cuts me off. No blinker, no signal that they were getting over, just cut me off. I could have gotten in an accident, had to slam on my brakes. There's a lot of traffic on the interstate. It was during a busy time. And I noticed that this car just continues to weave in and out of traffic, in and out of traffic. I don't know where they thought they were going. And I'm becoming enraged. I am just yelling, honking my horn, thinking to myself, I hope they get in an accident, right? Horrible thought process to have. I'm sure you can relate to this scenario, those of you who suffer from road rage, that is. And as I'm driving down the road, I start to get over the whole they cut me off. And I look over to my right and I notice that it's the same car that just cut me off a few feet back is now next to me. That feeling of rage just started swelling up inside. I mean, I really wanted to give them a piece of my mind. Well, how dare you cut me off? And as I look over, I see this woman in the driver's seat. She's on the phone, tears rolling down her face. She looks like she herself is in a frantic state. And all of a sudden, my rage and wanting to give her a piece of my mind turns into sympathy, because I realize that something is going on in her life that is a major, major deal. Now, all of a sudden, I'm wondering, has a family member passed away? Did her dad just have a heart attack? Is her husband being rushed to the hospital from an accident? And my fit of rage turned into sympathy. That's what perspective is. Perspective is being able to take a situation and look at it from a different point of view, to shift the thoughts that you have around that specific situation so that you're looking at it from an angle that maybe you didn't think about before. Here's another example. One of my clients that I've worked with through various situations had a really large presentation coming up at work. The to-do list was outrageous. It was astronomical. There were so many moving parts to making sure that this presentation was executed well. Now, my client had a lot of thoughts around this situation in their life. Most of them were things like, I'm never going to get done with this to-do list. It's so overwhelming. How am I ever going to find the time to complete all of this? I just don't want to do this. I'll never have time with my family to spend during all of this, and when am I going to eat? Looking at this situation from the perspective with those thoughts was keeping my client in an overwhelmed and stressed out state. So we began working on his perspective. Shifting his perspective from a state of feeling overwhelmed is not necessarily an easy task because, let's face it, none of us really like a big to-do list. But as we started working through some of those thought patterns and processes that he was dealing with, we were able to shift his perspective to start looking at it from a standpoint or a point of view that was excited about the content that he was going to learn while putting together this presentation. Looking at the finish line. Once he completes this presentation and goes through all the action steps to do so, he's going to be a better business professional and a better consultant to his clients. By being able to shift the perspective and look at it from the point of view of A, the fact that he is going to complete the task and the project at hand, and then it's going to make him a better professional and consultant to his clients once he gets through this phase of his career, he was able to get out of the emotions of being overwhelmed and stressed out and turn those emotions into a positive of being able to create the action steps that needed to take place to get through this project. Changing and shifting perspective is not always an easy task. In fact, it can take a little bit of work, and becoming aware of your perspective is the first initial step. But I'm here to tell you it is possible. You can shift your perspective too. And in my next video, I'll be sharing how you can look at the same situation from multiple different perspectives and how they can change your point of view to shift you from a negative state to a positive state. So the next time you're having thoughts around a specific situation in your life or a challenge that you're faced with, I encourage you to pause and ask, what perspective am I viewing this situation with? Is it a positive perspective that's going to create a positive outcome? Or is it a negative perspective that's going to keep you in a state of negative thought patterns that then produce negative behaviors? Perspective is one of those things that is embedded in most of us. And it may come from a long history of thinking a certain way. But when you begin to become aware of how your perspective is showing up in your life and what you can do to shift that, you can begin to get out of being stressed out and overwhelmed and into a state of getting things done and taking action. Thanks for tuning in to this video. I'm Briana with Vacation of the Mind. If you liked what you heard in this video, I encourage you to subscribe to our channel, to hit the like button, and leave us a comment below. I'd love to hear from you about your perspective in life situations. Please check out the rest of our YouTube, and you can find some of our guided meditations that help to relax and calm the mind and body during those stressful situations and moments. Until we see each other again, have a wonderful day.